Cool, we are back, chat, with another stream. Okay. Hold on. We might do some ranked quest. Let's peep at the shop. It's been a minute since I checked the shop. I know Till Florida is added. Zug is looking pretty cool. That's actually sick as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. What are we doing today, Chad, by the way? Let me know. This shit's awesome. Those lights are looking pretty cool too, but Blizzard, that's actually kind of tempting. God, that's so cool. It's actually so cool. We might have to throw down in chat. The pizza plan truck is funny, but I wouldn't throw down for that. Let's go chilling, Terminator. That's cool. Ramses is pretty cool. Yeah, strong. Yeah, we're kind of vibing today, chat. Kind of just vibing today.
When I used to think about taxes.
Season 2's new maps contaminated an Hagenthal base into a mini operation. Attackers attempt to push the defending team back to their HQ sector with 3 rounds of tickets per map, and it's actually quite good, although there are some pretty stark differences there. There's also some leaked content to cover, so let's get into all of it.
Here now.
So after spending the morning playing several matches of Operation Augur, I think my main takeaway is that DICE have yet again delivered something extremely cool, but also much more limited than I think anybody wants it to be. I'm a pretty big fan of Battlefield 1's Operations mode. I think it was one of DICE's strongest new game modes that they've done, I don't know, over the past decade or so. And combining that mode with Battlefield 6's 2 new maps, which are fantastic, feels like an easy.
I just saw this at Walmart today.
Especially on the first map, Contaminated.
Go 7-Up.
Well,
Sounds terrible, so we're gonna try
which
it.
is definitely a characteristic of Operations, or even Breakthrough for that matter. If you have a bad team as the attackers that refuse to push or don't have the right vehicle support needed to break the defender's stronghold, well, you're just simply not going to get through. But when you do have a good team, or you're on defense and the attackers are really putting up a fight, this is some of the best gameplay I've had in Battlefield 6. Whether I was pushing the objective with an aggressive assault kit, or holding the line with an LMG, or being a useless sniper racking up headshot kills from the HQ, I was having an absolute blast. The limited vehicles plus the extended match time, thanks to having those 3 waves of reinforcements, really scratches that operations itch.
Bro, what was your plan there?
Bigger ordeal than your typical breakthrough round. And it puts you so much more in touch with the actual win-loss scenario. You start to pay attention to it more and actually care whether or not you're pushing through. Now, one thing that everyone might not be super happy about is that this mode is limited to 48 players instead of 4. But I didn't feel like more players would have actually benefited in this situation. Both teams are very focused and have a pretty limited play area, so a full 64-player lobby would have probably been okay. I have no doubt that Dice tested this scenario and came away with a 38-player count based on that. And despite the smaller player count, well, the main difference between this and the traditional operations mode is, well, there's no real comeback mechanic for the attackers. Each wave, when you reset your tickets, the team gets access to the same spawn points and vehicles. So if you lost in round 1, well, unless your team really locks in and learns from their previous mistakes, well, there's a good chance that you're going to lose in round 2 and even 3. Whereas in Battlefield 1, the losing team would get a behemoth vehicle to try and even things out. And they often at least got you a few new capture points, so it still made it feel like there was a chance for you to come back. And in some maps, it's probably overpowered, but not having any sort of bonuses for round 2 and 3 feels a bit off for this mode. Just something to help break through the defenders for at least one sector would be nice. As it currently stands, both teams get a selection of ground vehicles like Jeeps, SUVs, and Bradleys, depending on the sector. On Hegental base, both teams get a minigun, which is about as useful as a blindfold. It also feels like the playable area uncontaminated, especially in the first sector.
Sorry,
quite
chat.
narrow. The side rats offer
Just needs
basically
small
no
food to die.
cover, and they're within striking distance of the defender's front line. So getting to the objective can be just a brute force operation here. It feels like maybe a little more cover would help out in this specific situation. Operation Augur also feels really great for players looking to grind out weapon unlocks and stuff, just because the consistency and intensity of the combat is absolutely there. And in my opinion, this is one of the best added modes so far. But sadly, the event is a limited time mode available exclusively on just the current season's new map. So even though the mode is great, repeating it over and over on the exact same 2 maps and getting the exact same flanking options and exact same gameplay, it's just gonna get a little boring no matter what. I was having a ton of fun at first, but the familiarity of the maps certainly started to wear on, and I can only imagine trying to hop into this new content and get days worth of gameplay out of it. I feel like it's kind of the same story that we've been getting with the rest of Battlefield 6's content rollout. They do it in these tiny little dollops, and then you're supposed to focus all of your attention on just a really small amount of content for a longer period of time. It just doesn't feel like the right approach. Now, outside of the mode, there's actually a decent patch for the game. The biggest new gameplay item, besides Operation Augur, is the LTV, which is a NATO support vehicle with squad spawn functionality, plus health and ammo resupply. There's also a new melee weapon, the Ripper 14-inch, tied to the Hunter Prey bonus path. And for the Battle Royale, the new Hazmat Breacher training path gives assault players a breaching dart launcher that uses VL smoke, along with better protection from the gas effects. Probably, though, the most interesting balance change is the defibrillator rework. It now uses a charge system with 3 charges, and revives restore between 50 and 100 health depending on how long you charge it. And a fully charged zap can once again kill an enemy in one hit. DICE is clearly trying to stop the chain revives from being sort of a brainless mechanic, while still preserving those clutch medic moments. And honestly, I think that sounds like a pretty key change for the general gameplay flow. That said, I had no problem chaining together 3 revives in a few seconds, so I don't think these changes are going to drastically affect the overall gameplay. Now, when it comes to Season 3, DICE have been pretty quiet about what to expect, but that hasn't stopped leakers from finding some interesting things. First up, we're getting at least 2 maps with Season 3, the remake of Bull Mud Railway and Plaza, which is currently a spiritual successor to Battlefield 3's Grand Bazaar. There's a third map called Isolated that has also leaked, but that's most likely a new area on the Red Sect Battle Royale map. Now, Gold Mud Railway has been in testing in the Battlefield Labs recently, and despite saying that they aren't reducing the map's size, it does look like the playable area has been reduced. An image comparing the original version of the map and the remake shows that the areas on the perimeter of the map have been made out of bounds. These areas were mostly empty space that players didn't use anyway, so it doesn't really look like a major reduction in scale. I will say, though, that I am sort of expecting the map to feel like the Operation Firestorm remake, where DICE sort of rebuilt the map with a lot of additional cover that changed a lot of the flow and kind of feeling of the map to a degree. It improved it in some regards, and sort of took away some of the specialness in others. So I'm hoping they don't do the exact same thing here, but I have a feeling we're going to get something similar. That said, I was never a huge fan of Gold Mud Railway in the first place, so if they change it up, maybe I'll actually prefer the new one. There's also 4 new guns that have been data mined for Season 3. The L15A3 sniper rifle, the RPK-74 LMG, the M16A3 coming back, and the PP-19. This isn't much to go on in terms of how these guns will perform or be balanced out for the existing guns, but it's nice to see a franchise staple like the M16 making a big comeback. As for timing of all of this content,
Wow, that actually kind of tastes just like 7-Up. I don't know why I'm surprised, but
12th, which is when Season 2 ends. DICE, of course, may delay or extend Season 2 if there's any major issues with that content. Overall, it doesn't really seem like DICE is changing their game plan or their content production pipeline, rather. It doesn't appear we're on track to start getting a lot more new maps or a lot more new content, but instead just kind of maintain the current pace.
See, the key is supposed to be over here. I think somebody took it and ran. Or maybe it just doesn't spawn in ranked. I don't know.
So, despite there being some complaints, myself included there, about the quantity of content rolling out, the player base seems quite healthy. As for large maps, Gold Mud Railway seems like it's supposed to scratch that itch, although it's one of my least favorite large maps from the franchise in the past, so they're going to do a remake. I've got 10 other maps that I would rather have before this one. And as far as that Grand Bazaar spiritual successor, well, I always loved Grand Bazaar. I thought it had a fantastic layout, a lot of good flanking routes, and just a really solid urban combat map. That said, it's still very similar to some of the maps that are currently in the DF6 lineup, so I'm not sure it's going to bring all that much variety in terms of gameplay, but I'm curious to see what DICE delivers. What do you guys think of this latest update? What do you think of this sort of mini operations game? Would you like to see it rolled out to more maps down the road? Sometimes DICE does this, and there's a big enough request from the community. Some of these smaller modes can become bigger modes over time. Up next, check out this video on 10 times that DICE has predicted the future with alarming levels of accuracy. Pretty wild. You don't want to miss it. As always, thanks for watching.
Thank you. I don't need that.
Okay, signing off.
Let's go kill the boss.
You're not just moving. You're moving in the right direction.
How am I gonna play soccer and kick that kid?
When life changes, the attack changes. Don't navigate the ball. Get expert guidance to attack flow and build away. Now streaming on Apple.
Oh. I don't want that.
Hey guys, more of a serious topic today, and we like to joke around and stuff.
You're not just moving. You're moving in the right direction.
How am I gonna play soccer and kick that kid?
When life
Hey guys, more of a serious topic today, and we like to joke around and stuff, but I've been holding this in for a while, and I've had some alarming news from my doctors, and I just wanted to talk about it.
More merch available. We have some Rock and Glove merch, and also we've been seeing a lot of people requesting the Ozempic and High Control Fire shirt back. So they're back. They're there. Get them now while you can. Don't keep complaining that you can't get them, because now you can. Here's the link in the description if you want some sweet merch to cover your beautiful titties and big fat man gut. Now's the time.
Oh, what's up, dude?
Welcome back to the Bubba Me Channel! Today we're going to be talking about TikTok relationship.
Brother, where'd you go?
Run.
You not to run.
Maintaining a relationship can be hard, but maintaining a healthy one can be even harder. Some people simply don't trust their partner, whether it's because of bad treatment, personal insecurities,
I mean, that's a nice outfit. I just don't think it looks good on you.
or mere superstition.
I also do that. What's your next one?
One thing is certainly true. TikTok relationship trends are making things much worse. So I'll tell you why they're making things much worse. Because because all of these things we're getting ready to talk about today are all people that are looking for reasons, in my opinion. I think 90% of them. Because to me, it's looking for people outside of the validation to do the quote-unquote bad thing or the hard thing. And it's bullshit! These are all so stupid, by the way. They're so dumb. Every day, millions of people go on TikTok and watch happy couples perform various tests on each other to see if they're truly meant to be, right? This has led to more and more people performing these tests in their own lives, leading to disappointing results. Because people can't also realize when something is fabricated. Somebody doing a dumb test and be like, oh my god, he's so poor. Yeah, made up! It's not real! Human beings don't act like that. They don't! We'll get into it. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Maybe it's just how I'm treated at home or something. No. No, like it's like kind of like my fault. I should have been drinking water.
I just can't stand it.
Hey, it's my fucking wife you're talking about, man. She'll talk to me anyway. She'll talk to me anyway. She wants to. She always does. So let's take a look at what TikTok can do to potentially strengthen my relationship. As far as the tests themselves, many of them are similar. That being said, failing to pass them leads to a sea of online feedback insisting that the
They don't know the first thing about you. I was worried we'd be stranded for hours.
No. That's too good to be true. What about that? Brother. It was a nice try, brother. It was a nice try.
I did Walmart Plus members get free delivery on more than just groceries. Free delivery on these apples and this shirt. Knowing about Walmart Plus is a beautiful thing.
It's your time to build the future. U.S. Army Reserve.
Alright, it's Epic Build Time. Remember Epic Meal Time? God, that's a YouTube show I missed so much. Anyway, I thought I was going to be doing a Epic water-cooled build in the Cooler Master Frame 360. And today, that's what we're going to start. It ain't going to be done. You guys want more vloggy, like, talk about it as you're doing it type videos. Well, when we do that, it takes a lot longer. So, I don't know what we're going to get done today. We'll get something. Today's video is brought to you by our brand new GPU Apocalypse 2.0 shirt, kind of immortalizing all of the stuff you love about today's GPUs. Our GPU Apocalypse 1.0 shirt was actually one of our most famous and popular shirts, and now it's re-immortalized with GPU 2.0. So let's face it, the Apocalypse never went anywhere.
Easy.
It just evolved, just like the shirt. Go buy it now. So I asked
That's
you
just
this,
how you win 'em, boys.
Crosshair
That's just how you win 'em.
70E Hero BTF. I got it because it's BTF. And then it dawned on me. Dang it, I still have to use the vertical riser in this particular case because it doesn't support standard mount. So I can't use the BTF card because I have, because it's like the BTF into the thing. But that's okay actually because the Astral BTF card I have, I don't think will work with standard water because I think that recess will be a problem.
That's just how you win 'em.
Adapter you can get in there.
Alright guys, we pumped out as much water as we could, but it's
Cool.
too muddy to pump, so he's gonna try to push it out with the dozer. He needs to be able to see what he's doing in the water. In the water he can't see.
Why does this look so sketchy?
So I really want to know how much higher this pad is above our sidewalk in our street. Power it up right here. Let's go into self-test mode. It's going to self-level. All right, gang, now that we have our baseline, what I mean by that, the laser is about 4'9" above the sidewalk, and we've got it dialed in right here on our pole. So I'm going to walk back to the pad and see how much higher we are than the sidewalk. This pole is going to help us do that. Feel like we're higher? I'm going to lower this. Perfect. And just like that, there is our dry line. We made sure we went down and cut off any twigs or branches that were in the way so that this thing is dead straight because it's going to be our reference. And remember, it's a foot off of our property line. How do we know that? On the survey, the back side of this post or the top rail is the property line. You can see the surveyor's tape right here indicating the same, and there's even a stake out of the picture that shows us exactly where the property line is. So we know. And so that mark is the top of our slab, 9 inches above the sidewalk.
Gotcha. Shucks to suck.
Put the tracks just like they are, level the machine with the blade, we're gonna give it a whirl.
I'm sending it.
There you go. All right, guys. Jordan made it safely across our trench, and check this out. We didn't have any cave-ins because our select fill is all compacted. It's nice and compact. It's exactly what I was hoping that would do when you cross it with the head machine.
We'll take that.
Plumbers are here, roughing in the plumbing under the garage slab. That's exciting for us. That means we can get on the shovels, put down some vapor barriers. Hopefully start laying some
Sure.
steel this week. They're already hard at work. Let's go back there and check out what they're doing.
Ooh, there we go. That's why we go fishing.
This is all ready to go for the tie-in. They're all busy digging right now. Let me get out of this hole, and we'll head on to the next step. All right, guys, it is the next day. We passed inspection, and the boys are back. They're going to put all the steps and plugs on, backfill everything, and the plumbing, the rough plumbing, all done.
Bro. I don't even know why you tried to initiate that fight.
Combat 6 incident, correct?
Where'd all you shit go? We're disrespecting you.
I think taxes are something that makes all of us panic, whether or not you want to admit it.
Hey, followers, it's Tuesday, time for Atomic Shop update, and today we have Megaton sale.
Oh, damn.
That look like no new items.
It's only got 4
are
charges. Shit.
And sales, 30% off across the board. Let's take a look. That's a decent amount. Looks like to see 50% off, taking into account that prices after a discount are, over 1K atoms per bundle. So no cheap at all. And this bundle looks like contains cigarette machine, which is a resource producer very handy to complete your dailies much faster. If you need to scrap those cigarettes or produce asbestos, this machine is very handy. Armor Ace bundle. Small bundle for a lot of atoms. Atomic Horror. Okay, this is cool. This bundle is cool. I do have it on my main focus barrel. But the research is anything particularly important there. One cool is a little bit helpful. I like this outfit. It's really cool. Outfit is really good. And Matt signed it. And this, is it listed? Yeah, rusted both of arms. So this is supposed to generate output 2 if it works as it did in the past. Hopefully it does. City food truck bundle.
Ooh.
Resource generators.
Give me dual
I
shotties.
do focus on resource
I'll take that.
Try to pick up if
That's a nice little upgrade.
to let you know. Otherwise, Smatic, like you can see for yourself if they fit into your camp or do not. I will not tell you what's the best for your camp. I can only tell you what's the best
Ooh.
for my camp. I only
Aww.
have one nice camp, which is the giant turret along the river, and every other camp is utility camp, where I just have a bunch of resource generators taking 60% of camp budget anyway. And no resource generators in this one, but there is old car, which I think is cool. Build the music bundle. You build the music with this bundle.
Damn.
You can. Forbidden big side bundle that shelled out some other items. Greenhouse and forge bundle. Greenhouse gives a lot of business opportunities. Newlyweds outfit bundle. You want to be newlyweds? You can in all services. Survivalist state bundle. Free state bundle, not state. Shipping station bundle.
Ooh.
Those are
Did no one drop here?
included. I don't know if that's included. Let me check. And you can collect candy? No, not this one. No, they only wanted to show the name. That's why I need to read the description before you buy. The last big card is still in here. If you missed all those items, if you are into fishing, you can get them. All this stuff, all those bundles. Greatest hits, to some additional discounts. Brotherhood, Reclaim, the Lutz bundle, they were added before the weekend. Yeah, I didn't show them, so I'm showing them now. They're in here. 30% off as well, so it looked like they did the same discount for everything this time around. Usually it was variable discounts, this time it's 30% across the board, unless it's singular items and barely 10%. But bundles 30. Bundles from 2 weeks ago, still available. If you need any of those items, your last 6 days to get them. And special offers, blue shirt and slugs for free lunch box. A discount for Kendall House Pizza. That similar house, like it's not the same as in Helvetia, but this style. And the Forge Resistance bundle, free state bundle again.
Oh, damn.
900.
Whatever.
Those two discounts are 50% off and 50% off, but only if you have all first giant yarn weather bundle. So 50% off
Take
weather
that.
and the other discount. And this is it for today's Atomic Shop update. Let me know if you're excited. You can probably tell I'm not very much because I already owned all this stuff that I wanted from those bundles. Not like bundles are all bad, but the ones that I would pick up I already own. Therefore, nothing.
Is Lord Croak bubbling up in Ties of Torment? Yes, we're discussing the provider of Bubbles of Doom, Lord Croak. I need to get a script turned into a video before I croak. Yes, well, let's do right here. Recorded by Prince Battle or starting with Golorock. This is a proper
That was a spicy one there, my
with
guy.
zero upkeep. On ultra scale, he flows in at
You almost had me.
6,102 health. Armor 45, missile resistance 40%,
Ooh.
spell resistance 25%.
And we got another big
so he
chest,
knows
or
who
super
wants to snipe
chest.
him and has taken countermeasures. Be wary of the fire weakness 25%. He's a little desiccated, a word I haven't heard much of since Dark Ray. Leadership is 100 and unbreakable. Speed 34 and charge speed 44 are technically considered ground speed. You will see him using melee attacks just to show him off without magic for a while, and he's not great at it. Melee attack 26, each blow is magical attack if it lands. Attack interval 5 seconds is against a 4-second standard interval. Splash at the size very large means most chariots are included 2, and max target's damage by splash, regardless of disruption, is 5. Melee defense of 12 is one of the worst in the game period, and truly horrific for a character. He's not there because
Take that.
weapon strength 450 looks formidable, but split case 130 and armor piercing 120. A
Damn.
armor piercing ratio. Charge bonus is 4 in the sense of 1, 2, 3,
Bro fucks
4,
me so hard.
and max
God
is
damn.
2500. Considered a siege
Jesus.
because his fear, he can hide in forest, has Strider to not be slowed by such forests, and has the full-blooded ability common to lizardmen heroes. More leadership, less rampage, single target. In campaign, everything gets nuttier. Background trait, Spirit of a Venerable Lord Crow, adds growth plus 20 local province, corruption minus 3 local province, leadership plus 5 for heroes, army, and all units thereof. Lord Croak is both a training hero and a replenish troops hero when embedded, and both a stimulate growth and a boost income hero as map passives. Not even allowable until rank 10, Colossal Deliverance, Agent Action, messes up enemy cities. At 20, we can pick an additional pip, choice of 2. One reduces cooldown by 50%, the other replaces with Ultimate Deliverance.
This sucks trying to get
The
these
main spell line
words.
features the deliverance of its spells, rather famous, and the wind-up is famous too, making this of limited utility in multiplayer. In campaign, these go from blob punishers to blob annihilators, more or less. 3 spells. These spells have
Good
0
ranked.
friendly damage. Since you can cast them by default, the pips
5
are about
days.
making these lower.
That's
costs.
wild.
Also, no overcast at all. Version 1 is 7 wins, 50
try
second
some.
cooldown default, 1 pip for minus 1 wins,
Some
2
reload.
pips for minus 2 wins.
Sure.
Radius 50 meters,
Cool.
damage 40 with 25% of this
Let's go
being
for it.
piercing guaranteed damage. 200 meter cast range. While wind up, remember, factor that into your cooldown math. Deliverance version.
Right now, well-qualified buyers get 0% APR on select certified used vehicles only during Bravo Rama.
In 1963, Ferdinand Porsche unveiled the very first 911. Unknowingly, his modest creation would change my life forever. From the raw air-cooled legends of the 1970s, the Group 4 monsters that dominated rally racing, to the fire-breathing 935 that terrorized Le Mans, Porsche was truly unstoppable. And you might believe that these are the reasons why I think the 911 is the greatest car of all time. But it goes a bit deeper than that, because all of this, well, it involves my dad. The year was 1976, and my dad just arrived in Canada all the way from Hong Kong. He didn't have much, but clearly he was a free spirit. He was traveling all over North America with no plans and no money to his name. He was working random restaurant jobs just to get by, and back then, you could live a pretty good life doing that.
Main Street, Canal.
But deep down, he knew he loved 2 things, taking photos and cars. And during the span of 10 years, by some miracle of sheer will, he was eventually able to combine those things into what many would consider a dream profession. He worked as an international photojournalist covering a motorsports event you might be familiar with. Let me show you guys what I'm actually talking about. Because this wasn't just any event. This event was so significant that it would redefine a generation of automotive entertainment. And my dad was hired to preserve this incredible era of racing history. This was Formula One in the late 80s, what many enthusiasts now consider the golden era of Formula One. Cars making over 1,200 horsepower with little to no regards in safety standards. These drivers were cutthroat and fearless, and those standards also applied to media people like my dad. He had full access to areas of the track, access to team pits during the race, photographing only meters away from global motorsport legends like Ayrton Senna. He had access to areas that would now be completely off limits due to safety, inches away from cars driving over 300 kilometers per hour. And because of this, his work was featured on the covers of magazines. Many of these absolutely stunning photos taken on film were published internationally for a magazine located in Hong Kong. And not only that, his basement is full of photos that have never even made it to the public eye. Even his merchandise collection feels like something that should belong in a museum. But it wasn't just Formula One. He covered local events like IMSA and Trans Am and the early days of the Toronto Indy. So because of all of this, you could say my dad knew a thing or two about cool cars. When he finally made some money, he bought a first generation Golf GTI, which of course he wrote an article on. That's him and my mom. Then it was this EF Civic on Momo wheels. How cool is that? But the car at the top of his list was always the legendary Porsche 911, what he thought was the pinnacle of motorsports engineering. Well, when I was born. His passion for journalism and Porsche even pushed him to write directly to the engineering team in Stuttgart about the newly released 959. Our house was always plastered with the newest 911 catalogs or posters he could get his hands on. So it was only normal that when I was born, I liked cars, and not just any car. It was always the 911. As an impressionable little kid, I wanted to be like my dad, and I wanted a 911 like my dad. It was genuinely all I could think of. Here's me in our family friend's 911 Speedster. As a kid, I wanted to own a 911. And 24 years later, I kept that promise to myself, sold everything I owned, and bought the cheapest 911 I could find. A Project 1974 air-cooled G-body. For the first time, there was now a 911 in the family. But I learned very quickly the realities of buying a project car that was almost 50 years old. The rear quarter paint was peeling from a botched repair job. The interior was disgusting, and worst of all, the rust. As these older 911s
My brother.
wanted, battery acid would leak right over the front portion rod, causing severe rust issues. And mine was the worst case scenario. There was nothing left of the front end. I spent every cent I had on buying this thing, so if I wanted to fix it, I had to do it myself. I spent a good 2 years rebuilding the car from the ground up. I re-welded the entire front structure to repair the rust. I restored all the hardware, refinished the gas tank. I learned how to rebuild the transmission, reupholster the entire interior. I even learned how to fix the paint. And when I was finished, I daily drove this thing. I had finally built my dream car. But then, suddenly, I watched the prices of these cars skyrocket into oblivion. And to be honest, it became less fun. Websites like Bring a Trailer emerged, and the writing was on the wall. The 911 wasn't just a car me and my dad bonded over. Air-cooled 911s were the next hot thing. The 911 wasn't just a sports car anymore, but to some, it was speculative art. Even parts became 5 times more expensive compared to when I first got the car. Could I even afford to fix the engine anymore if something happened? The 3.2 Carrera engine in my 911 alone now sells for $25,000. I bought the whole damn car for less than half of that. As life got busy, I stopped going to car shows with my dad. And well, the Porsche, it just sat there. When I moved to Japan, it sat in the garage for years. But for me, no matter what car I drove, I knew deep down I was a hardcore 911 guy. I mean, I was born into this. So for the first time in nearly 4 years, I'm going to stop letting the price of this car scare me. And not only that, I think it's time to rekindle some of those old memories with my dad. The first thing I needed to do before trying to drive this car again was to change the oil. Since all air-cooled 911s are dry-sump engines from factory, they all have 2 drain plugs. Then I installed a fresh filter and filled it up with new oil. I charged up the battery the night before, and after priming the engine, I expected it to start right up. But, of course, it's never that simple. Guess that's why most people don't leave their cars sitting for 4 years. It's funny, because this car has always started first try. The next morning, I tried to diagnose the issue. I couldn't hear the fuel pump prime at all, so I thought it was a relay issue, but it wasn't getting any power. But then I figured it out. There's a little speed connector and I forgot to put it on, and that's literally it. With that embarrassingly simple fix taken care of, it fired right up.
Damn. Brother.
It was smoky. Like, really, really smoky. Something was clearly not right. I pulled the car back in and
Some say bots, I say pros.
everywhere. But I quickly figured out it was just a loose oil fitting. I tightened it back up and we were back in business. After double checking the oil pressure and temperatures, everything checked out and I took it for its first drive. Being such an old car, it felt foreign at first, but once I realized I didn't just blow up a $25,000 engine, all the good memories came flooding back.
Oh man, I don't know why 911's just air-cooled always just makes me feel a certain way that no other car makes me feel. Like, I don't get it.
There was still one person who I wanted to experience this car with, which was my dad.
It's forged. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It's made in Germany.
Really?
After we got some food, we headed to our next destination. Although there were no auto shows going on, I found the next best thing. Finally made it. The Porsche dealership. They had this incredible 911 GT3 on display for an eye-watering price. They also had this really cool Cayenne Turbo, which my dad, being a motorsports fan, recognized the OZ wheels immediately. We also found the section we could afford. It's the cheapest 911 you can get. And my dad even recognized some of the legendary cars he has photographed before.
Yes. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. Keep the race record. I was looking at the Formula 1 car. It's like most what the Formula 1 77.
After we realized we couldn't afford anything except the free Porsche branded water, we went to a bakery and got some cake for my mom. And finally, we visited a few of my friends in the area who shoot a lot of film photography. My dad, of course, talked to them about his past career as a photographer.
Thanks for coming, Bob. Right off the sunset.
Brother.
My dad never ended up owning a 911, and he ultimately gave up motorsports journalism just before I was born because, to be honest, at the time, it just didn't pay the bills. He knew if he continued, it would be really hard to have a family. So once me and my sister were born, he made the decision to ultimately give that dream up and started a Chinese restaurant instead for the chance that our family could live a better life. I often wonder though, where would my dad be if he didn't give up shooting Formula 1? What would he be doing now? Like all father and son relationships,
Damn, only 53?
me and my dad have our differences, but for 33 years of my life, the 9/11 has always been the topic that somehow
That's
brought
kinda
us
wild.
closer together. And for that reason, it is why the 9/11 will always be, at least to me, the greatest car of all time.
Done with that. I think we're gonna hop on to some Fallout.
Hello everybody, Nathan here, and what you are seeing in the gameplay is a safe run of a Gleaming Depths raid from the first encounter.
Don't think there's
Encounter.
all too much on it. That's awesome.
EN06 Guardian Farm, which I know you're all too familiar with seeing videos of those guides by now. I even did one myself. And if you did not yet know, each encounter of this raid has its own loophole. So, as a solo player, if you want to expand the potential loot you're capable of getting, this guide is definitely going to help you out. Now,
Ooh.
I'm doing a trick that allows you to skip encounters 2 through 4 and go right to the end. And I'll be showing you how to do that. But
Oh, this has got to be the
with the team, might as
emo.
well just do all 5 encounters. And we'll be doing the full raid with 1 build loadout, 1 weapon, and 1 extremely easy consumable to farm that you can have infinite of with 0 effort and no recipe required. And there will be 0 armor mods required, so you can just run whatever you have. And there's 0 need to use a punch card machine in between encounters. I spent hours perfecting this build to try to make it as minimalist and beginner friendly as possible. And the best part is the full run only takes like around 7 minutes, maybe even 4 if you have a teammate. The run is so easy that you could do it in your sleep, so let's break it down. Hope you enjoy. So let's go over the gear and build we'll be using for the run, and then I'll walk you through the strats and the skip. Now I did say we'll only be using 1 weapon, but I don't really count this one because we're just using it to one-shot the Guardian's shield and then putting it away the rest of the run. It's a quad crippling salvage to Soltron's head. I also put on polished, but that's not absolutely required. Quad and crippling are what you need, and if you don't have those mods, you can get them by
Kill cultist, kill a cryptid.
going on Reddit to r/market70s.
Hold up. Is it that? I think it's that. I think that's where I need to go.
Here's to smile after magnificent smile in Wisconsin. To experiencing magic in every moment. And fun
brand new, our first new feature
Bit too
introduced
loud.
for this update is Spiky Baby. But beds. Beds are where I would like to kick off today's video because they are a little bit weird. You see, I've been taking a look at beds inside of this snapshot for as long as I could, picking them up, holding them in my hand, taking a look at that hand, zooming in, then flipping the angle, dropping it on the ground, getting the lens right and everything, and they appear to be exactly the same. Except this week we have a big change. You see, inside of this week's snapshot, block entity data, the Minecraft bed block entity has changed. But if you do, please help me out. See, I am only Peter Griffin, and I just don't know, man. When messing around with the bed, I did notice that I definitely bounce differently on it, but I think that's related to the bounciness changes in Snapshot 1. Not whatever was just done in Snapshot 3. Alrighty, next up, the sulfur block.
Damn, I'm nuking the fuck out of that.
Man, you can see it right here, clear as day. The Cinnabar block variants, they have been saturated again. I guess Mojang heard the community and decided that we were correct. The Cinnabar and the sulfur block variants are now warm. So here's the thing. I believe the plain old normal Cinnabar block right there, that's pretty much the same as it was in the last snapshot. The difference here is with the bricks and the chisel for Polish. Excuse me. I mean, yes, the chisel as well, but we'll get to that in a second here. Take a look at it. It's pretty intense how red these things are now. A couple of other red things I could foresee you wanting to maybe test this out, compare it to mangrove. Mangrove is still deeper, but a lot more. And then red concrete, actually. Red concrete fits in pretty well here with this lineup of blocks. So maybe you could like have red concrete and break it up, the flatness of it, with like Polish Cinnabar. Now you know we have a chisel as well. The chisel block has been increased in saturation as well. It's pretty nice looking. Now over on the yellow end of the spectrum, this one, at least to my eye, is pretty much instantaneously noticeable when you take a look at the potent sulfur block. Oh, mama, remember this stuff stood out like crazy? So, yeah,
Excuse me.
out a little bit. The potent sulfur
Brother.
is more yellow.
Don't just smack me.
Compared to the normal sulfur, this stuff is way a bit yellow and fun. Now, compared to red concrete and Cinnabar, the sulfur, even a new iteration of it, is still nowhere near as yellow concrete. And stone brick, maybe you're curious about that. Now the difference here is way more noticeable. This is much more golden. Carries a lead change, and it had been up in Minecraft Wiki. Here you can see a side-by-side of the chiseled versions of both blocks and how the new versions, but especially the Cinnabar, is much more intense. Oh man, now something that doesn't usually happen, inside of the snapshot we have the removal of a brand new crafting recipe. When we go ahead and craft this down into potent sulfur, that's good. But if I put potent sulfur in here, you can no longer break it back down into 4 blocks of sulfur, like you were able to with the last snapshot. And if you are curious, if I drop a sulfur block into the craft table, just one, it doesn't really break down into anything. So, what gives? Well, baby, this gives. So take a look at it. It's the brand new sulfur spike item that has been added to this update. It kind of confirms something else about Cinnabar. Oh man, so first up, listen to our new block sound.
Was it just that?
It's kind of the exact same thing, literally the exact same thing as point to drip, so listen. Now, sulfur spike, it does not combine with point to drip. Place it on top of it doesn't work, same with the other way around. That's not a thing. These are two very different blocks. They just so happen to be pretty similar in concept. It's a spiky block. Check this out. I am 3 blocks above a 2-tall dripstone spike. I fall on it. Ooh, I take 2.5 hearts of damage. It's no bueno. Now I will run the same exact test, except now we're with sulfur. 3 blocks above it. Oh, well. And, I didn't take any damage at all. If I were to maybe
Chat, just so you guys know, it's warm in our apartment. It's rough. We have our AC set to 65. It's 72 degrees right now. We're cooking.
Just like pointed dripstone. If I had sulfur spike on the ceiling, sulfur spike in the ground, just like pointed dripstone, they get close enough, they will just like a dripping or anything like that. If I put drips out right here, I think in time, doesn't it just like water drip? No, you know what, never mind, I'm a fool. No, I take it back. It does drip, I thought so, it just takes time. Meanwhile, a sulfur one, it never drips. In a survival setting, I find this block, I place it on, I want to maybe pick it back up, change my mind, I break it with my hand, and I actually get it back. Point to the stone. Well, it's actually the same. If I am standing underneath this block and it falls on me, oh, that's going to lead to a lot of damage. That's not good. This mechanic here, it is similar to Dripstone, except you seem to take a little bit more damage with the new spike. Another pretty sick new mechanic here is armable sulfur. So yeah, they went ahead and removed that potent sulfur recipe because we don't really need it anymore. If I put a little more, just like it can
The fuck?
above this stalactite right here, and then wait a little bit of time, over time, this thing will end up growing. We could go ahead and simulate this by increasing the random tick speed from like way a bunch and wait around. Any minute now. We can go ahead and throw a couple of tick sprints in here too. And wait still. And waiting. That's weird. It doesn't seem to be working. Maybe we need to swap it mostly. Swap it to the potent sulfur. Well, it's meant to work. This is how you can farm sulfur. But it's not working. Snapshots are snapshots though. You know, they can be a little bit buggy sometimes. Either it's just buggy and it takes a long time for it to work, or we'll have to wait until then. Either way though, with the addition of this brand new sulfur spike, the renewability question of the sulfur block has now been answered. All that's left is cinema. How can we get more of this? Well, yeah, and speaking of renewability, it's on the crafting table for the Dripstone, sulfur spike. You know how it goes. So new colors and brand new spikes, this amounts to a lot of changes to the new update. One of our greatest changes here though, has to do with the whole biome. Creating ourselves a brand new world inside of this snapshot. If you've already seen the sulfur cave biome and you know how it looks, no you don't, because this week, oh, the generation of it has been changed. Giving ourselves a little bit of nightmares so we can see better inside of this thing. The sulfur cave biome, all over the sulfur that was generating inside of the biome, we will now have spikes. Poking out the floor as well. This kind of makes it a lot more like a Dripstone cave variant. It's interesting. Oh man, now this biome, the larger the cave gets, the even more cool it ends up looking as well. As we move around through this
We're doing great, chat.
biome with the cinnabar, the spikes all over the place. Dude, look at how sick it looks. This cave biome just got a whole lot more dangerous because we're gonna need to watch out for these spikes and make sure they don't end up falling on our head. Oh man, like looking in here though, that's really cool and it makes me wonder what they're gonna do with cinnabar in order to make this thing renewable too. But yeah, wow, this feels pretty cool. Moving on to a different part of the sulfur cave biome, these sulfur spikes forming in here and they're touching the ceiling and floor together and makes it a little bit more difficult to actually get to navigate through. It seems like these sulfur spikes might be a little bit larger than the point of Dripstone, making it harder to like jump through the street. You're going to have to end up sliding. Yeah, that's pretty cool looking though. This opening down into the marsh. Oh, sick. Yeah, this definitely is an upgrade to the sulfur cave biome. I think it looks pretty nice. I can't help it. On cinnabar. Our answers are all the addition of the sulfur spike and changes to the biome. Now we know. Back in 26.1 snapshot, we talked about it, how it was like really great. The developers just like went ahead and made all of these changes to the Dripstone cave biome features. Well, this is clearly exactly why. That's why they renamed the thing. Checking back into my other world right here, it seems that I'm still having trouble getting the spikes. So, yeah. The final thing that I'd like to take a look at here is at the den of the
Ooh, it's an interesting spawn. Damn.
Is now going to look a bit like and put inside the best. The best thing they want from my testing is Scott Crowder
He's coming. He's coming. He's coming for me. Yeah, I saw it in his eyes.
You think you do, but you don't. Today we're talking about World of Warcraft. It's got to be the most well-known MMORPG. Which, if you don't know what MMORPG is, you definitely don't get buzzy. Or you're probably young. I wonder what the median age is for MMORPG enjoyers. I feel like that's like an older generation thing. I feel like it's more of like 30 and up.
Everyone trying to relive the glory days.
Yeah, the glory days of the Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King and all that jazz. People who are like vanilla. I'm like, okay, dude. All right, I want to look. Can we go back to when there was like nothing in the game, please? Everyone's heard of WoW is the moral of the story. Somehow, some way, you've come across it in some kinds of different media, right? Maybe your friend had it. Maybe you saw it in the South Park episode. I don't know. You've definitely heard of World of Warcraft. It's been around for more than 20 years and is one of the most popular MMOs ever created. What else is there? Guild Wars?
Guild Wars 2! The One Piece MMO that's coming out.
Is it really an MMO One Piece game?
I hope.
There should be, with how vast the world is. My experience with World of Warcraft was I didn't have internet growing up, so I would go over to my friend's house. I had a really shitty Toshiba laptop that still had the CD-ROM, mind you. At that time, it was like right towards the end of Burning Crusade, and I remember all my friends were playing it, and I was like, I don't think I can afford World of Warcraft. Like $15 a month. I went to Walmart and I got a battle chest thing. I think had the original and Burning Crusade in it or something. Super stoked, and then immediately I was pissed because like immediately Wrath of the Lich King came out after that, and I was like, I don't got any money for this. But it was mostly just going over to my friend's house either after school or on weekends. You would just stay up all night. I didn't really like the game. I liked like leveling up with my friends and like getting swords. Every time I'd go over, I'd just start a new character and we would just like, my friend would take Adderall and we would just order pizzas and it'd make another level 60 character or whatever that night. I always liked instances or those dungeons. No, I don't think I ever did a raid. I liked going, especially in Burning Crusade, they had a lot of cool weird demon instances. There was one where it ends with like a dragon fight, and then the enemy has like a cool sword. It's called like Hell Cleaver. And I remember I got that. I think whenever you have it, you spin and you attack with it or something.
Is it a polearm?
It was like a two-handed sword. I can't remember. It was big. I remember as a kid, I was like, this is sick. I used to draw it and stuff when I was younger. I was like, this is awesome. Damn. Me and my digital sword. Pretty sure I swear to God, I drew like Naruto. Or no, I drew Gaara.
With a sword?
From Naruto with that sword. And you control sand and he has a badass sword. But with all that being said, it's crazy to see millions of diehard fans who dedicate their lives to this game still to this day. And not just streamers. There's like very rabid fans. People full 9-to-5 jobs come home and they get in with their clans or whatever and they do raids or anything else. It always perplexed me. Even whenever
I think we're gonna do
an
stream
like
later,
Burning
chat.
Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, which I'm pretty sure that was the most popular time. Even then I was like, I doesn't play Dead Rising. You know, I can't fucking do anything else besides this.
You gotta do your daily quests.
Maybe the thing is I never got to experience it with like people and be like have that kind of relationship with the game, but it was always fascinating and still fascinates me to this day. Like when I go into a stream and I see people, like there's streamers who get 20,000 plus viewers, just watching a guy sit there and like, it's just like, you look at the screen, tons of green. I'm trying to see if I can barter boots with this guy. It's like, what the, like, what? But people, they love it. They love it. They love it. And I think it's time to take a look into World of Warcraft to see what makes the game so important to people. Why is the game so important? Something that brought this idea back to life to me recently was there's some World of Warcraft drama going on. We don't have a lot to talk about. All right. It has to do with OnlyFans, which is a World of Warcraft classic guild that blew up within the streaming community. It was made by one of WoW's biggest streamers, SodaPoppin'. It is a roleplay server with 100 other popular streamers in a race to defeat Ragnaros in the 40-man Molten Core raid. And you have awesome creators in it, like Mizkif, XQC, and Tyler One, who I am dubbing the world's greatest gamer.
I like that.
What can't the man do?
Nothing.
At least in the confines of video games. How you'd be like master in the league, and then you end up like ranking, like a high rank in chess.
I think it's Grandmaster in chess.
He's a Grandmaster in chess, like fucking Magnus Carlsen. Do you know what pisses me off more than anything? I say something, and you know what? Anybody can take this and they can run with it. I don't give a fuck. I'm putting my opinion up there. Nothing infuriates me more than seeing when I'm on my phone doom scrolling and I get a fucking clip. Magnus showing up late for a tournament. It's doing.
There he is. The world champion has arrived. He's running to his chair. At least he has pants on.
He sits down, shakes the guy's hand, and he like readjusts all of his pieces. It's like, dude, we fucking get it. You're good at chess. Just show up on time and get the job done. Because then the dickhead sitting there like some fucking Polish guy sitting there, and he's just like. The OnlyFans guild takes place in a hardcore server, meaning a death in the game resulted in a complete character restart. The absolute tragedy. My word. While this race factor amped up the entertainment value, it was also the cause of intense internet drama. And people love drama. The streamer Pirate Software was kicked from a guild after a controversial play that infuriated the entire internet. During a dire mall run, his streamer and his 5 level 60 friends tried to retreat during a dangerous encounter. 2 members ended up dying, and the others were quick to blame Pirate Software for not using his abilities to slow the enemies. Instead, he buffed himself and ran away as fast as possible, claiming he had no mana left to help them out.
I can help a lot. Yeah.
Why are you walking, bro?
What are you talking about? Why am I walking?
This
Look at
is
my mana.
savage, but come on, man.
Damn. So are we in the hardcore server or not? There's a bunch of fucking pig-faced dudes that can't get out in time. I say, guess what? Restart your character. Go on eBay and buy a character.
Elon Musk.
I think he pays like Taiwanese kids to level up his Diablo 4 account. I don't know. I am totally number 4 in the entire world. That's how Elon sounds on. I can't believe that. I'm number 4 in the entire world. But this sparked a heated debate, many arguing that Pirate Software clearly left him for dead when he could have helped. What the fuck is going on? And of course, Pirate Software doubled down, saying there was nothing he could have done.
He just wants me to sit down, grovel on my knees, and be like, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Yamato. It was all my fault, the mage. I won't do it again. I'm so sorry that tank overpulled 2 packs and a boss. Oh man, oh god. Next time I'll save you from the big mean 2 packs and a boss that tank pulled. Are you kidding me, dude?"
But the backlash was so intense that he was eventually kicked from the guild entirely.
Why did I kick? Oh my god!
Good luck sleeping at night, buddy. In a statement on Twitter, Pirate reveals that he had received thousands of death threats on top of being doxxed all over the internet, including in-game, all for a stupid mistake made in a WoW server. There's almost nothing a person can do to be doxxed online. And death threats. Seeing all of this crazy shit happen is kind of what sparked me to want to do this video. I'll be honest, I don't really give a fuck about the drama. I don't care. I really don't care about the video game itself. I'm more interested in people's fascination with the video game. It's not about that. If you came here for that, it's not about that. That's the last put the bow on that. It's done. Bye-bye. But it's insane to think that a few people dying in a video game could push a group of people to threaten someone's life, which feels stupid to say because at the same time, as I say that out loud, it's happened many times before, and probably even with this game. Sure, you can have a caveat, right? It's a hardcore server. These people lost over 100 hours of their lives leveling up these characters, so no wonder people feel so passionate about the betrayal, right? And also you're on a streaming thing, and people are tied up with emotional response to their favorite creators and all that kind of stuff. I get it entirely, but still, we're in Silly Town. Put on your silly hat, we're in Silly Town.
All I know is that if my Minecraft server got deleted because of a streamer, I would dox. Send death threats.
I was on a hardcore server, and so I didn't use their magical abilities to slow down the enemy so I could get away and they could help. And I got killed, and I had to reset my character on this hardcore server. I would either, one, I would kill myself, or I would dox and I would strangle to death the person that was responsible. Those are the 2 only options. I'd either put a gun in my mouth and blow out my fucking brains, or I would dox the person that did that and I would strangle them with my bare fist. And it led me to think this: if there's people that are taking it this seriously, this event this seriously with World of Warcraft, there's got to be something I'm missing with the hype of this game, with the lore, with everything. There's got to be something I'm missing, and I want to find out what it is. Which leads us into the history of World of Warcraft.
That does count. There we go.
Like a World of Warcraft spell. Cool. I want to be like a what's the big bowl race?
A Tauren.
Yeah, I'm a Tauren.
Getting milked.
I'm getting milked. I'm also one of those aliens.
Draenei.
You know my least favorite World of Warcraft race? Am I gonna be racist in World of Warcraft?
Well, I think we're gonna end the stream there. I don't know how much more there is to do. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Relatively uneventful stream, but it is what it is.